be me, some guy in his late 20s. Have a decent job, an apartment, the usual stuff. Been with my girlfriend, Rosalia, for a little over 2 years. When we first met, things were great. She was smart, funny, passionate about her beliefs. I thought that was cool, showed she had a spine. But over time, that passion started to feel less like a belief system and more like a rule book. A rule book that I was constantly breaking without ever having read it. Our apartment slowly stopped feeling like a shared home and more like her office, where I was a probationary employee on perpetual review. It was a slow burn, you know? Little comments here and there. Are you sure you want to watch that? It's kind of problematic. The way you just phrased that was a bit invalidating. I'm just asking you to do the emotional labor of understanding my perspective. It was like learning a new language that I was always failing at. Every conversation became a minefield. I found myself rehearsing what I was going to say before I said it, trying to run it through some kind of internal filter. Would this be seen as aggressive? Dismissive? Was I mansplaining? It was exhausting. I just wanted to come home and relax, but instead I had to mentally prepare for a performance review I was guaranteed to fail. The whole thing came to a head a while back. It wasn't one big thing, but 1,000 tiny cuts. I got home from work, completely drained. The kind of day where your brain feels like it's been wrung out like a wet towel. All I wanted was to order a pizza, sit on the couch, and stare at a screen until I fell asleep. I walk in the door and the vibe is immediately off. It's quiet, but it's a loud kind of quiet. Rosalia is standing in the middle of the living room, arms crossed, with this look on her face. It's the look that says, I have been waiting for you to get here so I can begin the trial. My heart sinks. Not again. I just try to play it normal. Hey, rough day. How was yours? She just stares at me for a good 5 seconds. Then she holds up her phone. I texted you 25 minutes ago. I blink. I pull out my phone, and sure enough, there's a text. It was a link to some article about a celebrity doing something stupid. I was driving home when she sent it. Oh, sorry. I was in the car. Just saw this. She doesn't uncross her arms. Her expression doesn't change. So, my emotional state just doesn't matter? I'm genuinely confused now. What are you talking about? It's an article. I was driving. This was a mistake, a critical error. Her eyes narrow. It's not about the article, Dennis. It's about the fact that I reached out to connect with you, to share something that was on my mind, and you ignored it. I was left feeling unheard. Do you have any idea how much energy it takes to hold that feeling? I just stand there, keys still in my hand, backpack halfway off my shoulder. I'm too tired for this. Rosalia, I was operating a 2-ton vehicle in traffic. I can't text and drive. She lets out this short, sharp laugh. It's not a happy sound. There you go again, using logic to dismiss my feelings. It's a classic tactic. You're not hearing what I'm saying. I'm telling you that I felt abandoned, and you're talking about traffic laws. My shoulders slump. I'm defeated before the fight even starts. Okay, I'm sorry you felt that way. It's the magic phrase, the one I've learned to use to end these things. It doesn't mean I agree or understand. It just means I want the lecture to be over. Usually it works. This time, it's like throwing a glass of water on a grease fire. Don't you dare give me that non-apology. I'm sorry you felt that way. That puts it on me. That implies my feelings are the problem, not your actions. She's pacing now. You're not sorry for what you did. You're just sorry that I'm upset about it. You're not taking any accountability. I don't say anything. I just take my shoes off and put my bag down. Anything I say will be wrong anyway. My silence is also wrong. And now you're stonewalling me. See? This is what I'm talking about. This is the behavior. You disengage. You refuse to participate in the resolution process. I just want to order a pizza. That's my only goal in life right now. The conversation, or rather the monologue, continues for another half hour. It covers my communication failures, my lack of empathy, my inability to provide a safe emotional space for her. Finally, it winds down. She seems satisfied that she's made her point. The tension in the air drops from a 10 to a solid 7. Later that evening, I'm on the couch. I've given up on the pizza idea. I'm just scrolling through a streaming service, looking for something to watch. I land on an old action movie from my childhood, one of those over-the-top 80s things with explosions and one-liners. Perfect. 0 brain cells required. I press play. The opening scene is ridiculous. Commandos, helicopters, cheesy music. I love it. A few minutes in, Rosalia comes into the room and stops. She looks at the TV, then at me. She lets out this long theatrical sigh. Really? I know where this is going. What? It's a classic. She sits down in the chair opposite the couch, facing me, not the TV. It's interrogation mode again. You don't see anything wrong with what you're watching? I try to keep it light. I see a guy with muscles bigger than my head fighting bad guys. It's not that deep. She shakes her head slowly, a sad, disappointed smile on her face. That's the problem, Dennis. You don't see it. You've been conditioned not to see it. That entire genre is a monument to toxic masculinity, the senseless violence, the emotional repression of the male characters, the objectification of the 1 or 2 women who even have lines. She goes on. I'm just sitting there, watching the movie out of the corner of my eye. The good guys are setting up explosives now. I just want to watch the base blow up. But I have to listen to this lecture about the patriarchal undertones of a B-movie. I try to make a joke to diffuse the situation. Come on, it's just a silly old movie. It's not a manifesto for the patriarchy. Wrong move. Her face hardens. The sad, disappointed professor look is gone. Now it's just anger. You think this is a joke? You think my concerns are silly? This is the problem. I'm trying to have a serious conversation with you about the media we consume and how it shapes our worldview, and you're dismissing it. You're belittling me. She stands up. You always do this. You refuse to engage on a deeper level. You refuse to grow. Here it comes. She storms out of the room. I can hear her in the bedroom, talking on the phone in a loud, angry whisper. I can't make out all the words, but I hear completely unwilling and so frustrating. I know she's talking to her best friend, Dana. Dana is basically the coach of her grievance team. She's the one who supplies Rosalia with all the latest buzzwords and tactical advice for our relationship. I pause the movie. The mood is ruined anyway. A few minutes later, Rosalia comes back into the living room. Her face is calm, but it's an icy, artificial calm. She stands in the doorway like she's about to deliver a verdict. Dennis? Her voice is flat. I've been thinking, and I've talked it over with Dana. Of course she did. This isn't working. Me trying to talk to you, trying to get you to understand. It's like talking to a brick wall. I'm wasting my emotional energy, and it's starting to affect my mental health. I just look at her, waiting for the punchline. I've decided that I need to set a boundary. I cannot continue to engage with you when you are so clearly not in a place to receive it. So I'm taking a step back. I have no idea what that means. From now on, I will be instituting a period of silence. I will not be speaking to you. I will not be engaging. I need to protect my peace. When you are ready to do the real, difficult work of examining your behavior and are prepared to offer a genuine apology and a plan for how you will do better, then we can talk. She looks so proud of herself, like she just delivered the most profound, mature ultimatum in history. I'm just stunned. The silent treatment? Are we 12? She's actually weaponizing silence and dressing it up in therapy speak. Before I can even process it enough to respond, she turns around. I'll be sleeping in the spare room. Do not try to talk to me." And with that, she walks down the hall, and I hear the click of the spare room door shutting. I'm left alone in the living room, in the total, deafening silence. The first night is weird. The apartment is so quiet, it feels wrong. Every creak of the floorboards sounds like a gunshot. I go to bed, and the other side of the bed is empty. It's unsettling. The next day, it's even worse. I wake up, and there's no one there. I make coffee in silence. She leaves for work before I'm even out of the shower, and comes home while I'm on my way back. When we're both home in the evening, she moves around the apartment like a ghost. She won't make eye contact. If I'm in the kitchen, she waits until I leave to go in. It feels like living with a very judgmental phantom. My conditioning kicks in. I feel guilty. I feel like I've done something horrible. I did make her feel unheard. I did dismiss her concerns about the movie. Maybe she's right. Maybe I am some kind of emotional Neanderthal who needs to do the work. That night, I try to apologize. I knock on the spare room door. No answer. I speak through the door. "Rosalia, look, I'm sorry about the other night. Can we please just talk about this?" Silence. I can hear her moving around in there. She's ignoring me. I feel a fresh wave of shame and frustration. The next day, I try another tactic. I cook her favorite meal, a peace offering. I spend a couple of hours on it. I set the table, make everything look nice. She comes home, sees the table, sees the food. She looks at me with a completely blank expression. Then she walks straight to the fridge, takes out a yogurt, and goes back to the spare room. The door clicks shut again. I'm left standing in the kitchen with 2 full plates of food and a house full of silence. That's when something inside me breaks. It's not anger, not yet. It's just resignation. I've tried. I've apologized. I've made an effort. She's not interested in resolution. This isn't about fixing a problem. This is a power play. It's a punishment. She wants me to beg. She wants me to crawl. She wants me to suffer until I break and promise to be whatever she wants me to be. I sit down at the table and eat both dinners by myself. And as I'm sitting there, in the total, oppressive silence of the apartment, something strange happens. I'm eating this meal I worked hard on. No one is telling me I used too much salt. No one is critiquing my choice of side dish. No one is sighing because I'm eating too fast. I'm just eating. And the silence, it's not oppressive anymore. It's just quiet. After dinner, I clean up the kitchen. I walk into the living room. The remote is right there on the coffee table. No one is going to argue with me about what to watch. I turn on the TV. I unpause the action movie from the other night. I watch the whole thing, every ridiculous explosion, every cheesy one-liner, and it's glorious. I realize I haven't been able to just sit and watch a movie I wanted to watch without commentary or criticism in years. When the movie is over, I feel calm. The knot of anxiety that's been living in my stomach for as long as I can remember is gone. The apartment isn't a minefield anymore. It's just my apartment. I sleep in the middle of the bed that night. I sleep better than I have in a long time. The third day is a revelation. I wake up feeling rested. I make my coffee, and I drink it while reading the news on my phone. No one is across the table from me, telling me that the news source I'm reading is biased or that my passive consumption of tragic events is a sign of my privilege. It's just coffee and news. I go to work and I have a good day. I'm focused. I'm not distracted by the thought of the argument I'm going to have when I get home, because I know I'm not going to have an argument. I'm going home to a quiet house. The thought doesn't fill me with dread anymore. It fills me with relief. On my way home, I do something I haven't done in forever. I stop at a burger joint, a greasy, unhealthy, amazing burger joint that Rosalia despises. I order a double bacon cheeseburger, fries, and a milkshake. I take it home, and I eat it on the couch, right out of the bag, while watching some stupid comedy show on TV. I can feel her presence in the other room. I know she's there, but her power is gone. Her disapproval can't reach me if she won't speak. Her main weapon was her voice, her constant stream of criticism and correction, and she has voluntarily disarmed herself. She thought silence was a punishment for me. She had no idea it was a vacation. Over the next few days, I rediscover my own life. It's like an archaeological dig of my own personality. I find things I had buried because they were problematic or immature. I pull out my old video game console from the back of the closet. It's dusty. I hadn't touched it since we moved in together. Rosalia had made it clear that a grown man playing video games was a sign of arrested development. I hook it up to the big TV. I fire up an old favorite, a huge, sprawling role-playing game that takes hundreds of hours to complete. I play for 6 hours straight. I lose myself in this other world, a world where the rules are clear and my objectives are simple. I slay dragons. I find treasure. I am the hero. At one point, I get up to get a drink, and I see her standing in the hallway, just watching me. Her face is a mixture of confusion and fury. She clearly expected to find me moping and miserable. Instead, I'm having the time of my life. I just look at her, give her a little nod, and go back to my game. I can feel her rage from across the apartment. It's like a physical force, but there's nothing she can do. She's the one who made the rules for this little game of hers. No talking. I can see through the corner of my eye that she's on her phone, furiously texting, probably getting new instructions from her coach, Dana. I can almost imagine the conversation. He's playing video games, and he looks happy. What do I do? And Dana is probably telling her to hold the line. It's a front. He's trying to get a reaction out of you. Don't give in. He's about to break. Poor Dana. She has no idea. I'm not about to break. I'm being rebuilt. The weekend comes. It's the first weekend in years that isn't scheduled down to the minute with activities that are enriching or meaningful. No farmers markets, no art galleries, no poetry readings. I wake up on Saturday with no plan. It's beautiful. I put on music, loud music, the kind of rock and metal she called aggressively masculine. I clean the entire apartment, top to bottom. Not because I have to, but because I want to. I want my space to feel good. I rearrange the living room furniture so it's centered on the TV, not on creating a conversational space. Rosalia watches all of this from the doorway of the spare room, her face a thundercloud. I'm not just ignoring her punishment. I'm erasing her influence. I'm reclaiming my territory. And she can't say a single word about it. Her silence, which was meant to be my prison, has become my freedom. And her powerlessness is making her frantic. I can see it. The way she slams cabinets in the kitchen. The way she stomps down the hall. These are the actions of someone who has lost all control and is desperately trying to get a reaction. Any reaction. But I don't give her one. I am an island of zen, a fortress of calm. My home is finally quiet, and so is my mind. I hadn't realized how much noise I was living with, both external and internal, the constant hum of anxiety, the endless loop of self-correction. It's all gone. There is only the sound of my music, my video games, and my own thoughts. I start to wonder how I ever lived the other way. Why did I let it happen? Why did I let someone else have so much control over my own happiness, my own home? I had been so focused on keeping the peace that I never stopped to ask what that peace was costing me. It was costing me myself. By the 6th day, the dynamic in the apartment has completely flipped. At the beginning of the week, I was the one tiptoeing around, trying to appease her. Now, She's the one who seems lost. Her tactic has failed so spectacularly that she doesn't know what to do next. She's trapped in a prison of her own making. Her only tool is silence, and she's discovered that it doesn't hurt me. In fact, it helps me. That evening, I'm on the couch, deep into my game. I'm wearing headphones to get the full immersive experience. Suddenly, there's a loud crash right next to me. I jump and pull the headphones off. Rosalia is standing by the bookshelf. A pile of heavy art books is on the floor. She's looking at me, wide-eyed, pretending it was an accident. "Oops," she mouths, without making a sound. It's the most pathetic attempt at getting attention I've ever seen. She's literally trying to break her own rule of silence, but she's doing it in a passive-aggressive way so she can claim she didn't technically speak. I look at the books on the floor, I look at her, then I put one headphone back on, leaving the other one off. "You okay?" I ask, my voice calm and even. She just glares at me, her chest heaving with frustration. She clearly expected me to rush over, to ask if she was hurt, to start a whole drama. My calm, simple question completely disarms her. She gives a furious little huff, turns around and stomps back to her room. I watch her go. Then I pick the books up off the floor, stack them neatly on the coffee table, and put my other headphone back on. The boss battle is waiting. The next morning, the 7th day, I wake up and the air in the apartment feels different. It's heavy. The quiet is no longer peaceful, it's tense, like the air before a thunderstorm. I realize the control has shifted so completely that she can't stand it anymore. A showdown is coming. I don't know when, but it's inevitable. I decide I'm not going to hide or wait for it. I'm just going to live. I do something I hadn't even thought about for over a year. I look up an old friend's number, a guy I used to hang out with all the time before things with Rosalia got serious. She never liked him. She said he had a bro energy that she found problematic. What she really meant was that he was just a normal guy who liked to joke around and didn't analyze every single word for hidden meanings. I give him a call. He picks up on the second ring. Hearing his voice is like a breath of fresh air. We talk for almost an hour. About work, about old times, about absolutely nothing important. It's effortless. There are no landmines. I don't have to weigh my words. I laugh. A real, genuine laugh. I don't think I've done that in my own home for months. As I'm hanging up, I see her standing at the end of the hall again, watching. The look on her face isn't just anger now. There's a flicker of something else in her eyes. Desperation. Her silent treatment was supposed to isolate me, to make me feel alone and desperate for her approval. Instead, it's pushed me to reconnect with the world I had left behind for her. Her plan is not just failing, it's actively undoing all the work she put into controlling my life. The rest of the day continues with this low, humming tension. I can feel her watching my every move. She's looking for a crack in my armor, an opening, but there isn't one. I'm not playing her game. I'm not angry. I'm not sad. I'm just peaceful. And my peace is driving her insane. That evening, I decide to close the loop. I walk into the living room. I pick up the remote. I navigate back to that same 80s action movie, the one that started all of this. I press play, right where I left off. I settle into the couch, put my feet up on the coffee table. This isn't an act of aggression. It's not meant to provoke her. It's a statement to myself. I will not be made to feel ashamed of the harmless things that I enjoy. My home is my home. I'm not even 5 minutes into the movie. The hero is making a dramatic speech before the final battle. Suddenly, the screen goes black. I turn my head. Rosalia is standing by the TV, her hand on the power button. Her whole body is trembling. Her face is pale, and her eyes are blazing. She broke. She looks at me, and for the first time in a week, she speaks. Her voice is rough, like it's full of rust. Are you enjoying yourself? I don't get angry. I don't even feel surprised. It was bound to happen. I calmly pick up the remote and turn the TV off properly. I give her my full attention. Actually, yes, I've had a very relaxing week. The calm, honest answer is the last thing she expects. She wanted me to yell, to demand why she turned it off. She wanted a fight. She doesn't know how to respond to my tranquility. She sputters for a second. A relaxing week? A relaxing week? Do you have any idea what you've put me through? I just look at her. I haven't put you through anything, Rosalia. I was respecting the boundary you set. You said you didn't want to talk, so I didn't talk. I can see the gears turning in her head. She can't argue with that. I used her own logic, her own boundary language, so she switches tactics. I can't believe you. I can't believe how cold you are. I gave you the silent treatment to give you space to think about what you did, to make you understand the pain you caused me. It was supposed to be a learning opportunity for you. And there it is, the whole truth of it. It wasn't a boundary, it was a weapon. It wasn't for her peace, it was for my punishment. I leaned forward slightly. A learning opportunity? What was I supposed to learn? You were supposed to learn empathy. You were supposed to miss me. You were supposed to realize that you can't just dismiss my feelings. You were supposed to come to me, to apologize, to beg me to talk to you again. That's what a normal person who cares about their partner would do. Her voice is getting louder, more hysterical with every word. She's finally saying the quiet part out loud. She's admitting the whole thing was a manipulative test. A test I failed by not suffering correctly. A strange sense of clarity washes over me. It's the final piece of the puzzle. I look at her, not with anger, but with a kind of sad pity. So, you're angry at me because I wasn't miserable enough for you? That question just hangs in the air between us. It's so simple, so direct, that it completely short-circuits her outrage. She stares at me, her mouth slightly open. She has no answer for that, because the answer is yes, and she knows it. So I continue, my voice still quiet, still calm. You wanted to punish me with silence, but you don't understand. The silence was a relief. I see a flicker of real hurt in her eyes for the first time. Not performative anger, but genuine shock. What you thought was a punishment was actually a gift. This week, for the first time in years, I haven't had to walk on eggshells in my own home. I haven't had to second-guess every word I say. I haven't been lectured or corrected or told that my hobbies are toxic or that my way of relaxing is wrong. I stand up from the couch. I'm not towering over her, just meeting her on the same level. Your silence didn't make me miss you, Rosalia. It made me miss myself. The person I was before I had to constantly worry about what you were thinking. Her face crumples. The anger is gone, replaced by a new strategy. Tears. Big, dramatic tears start rolling down her cheeks. So you hate me. Is that what you're saying? You think I'm some kind of monster. A year ago, this would have destroyed me. Her crying was my ultimate weakness. It was a guaranteed win for her in any argument. But something is different now. The week of peace has given me perspective. I can see the tears for what they are. Another tool, another tactic. It's not about sadness, it's about control. I don't hate you, I say, and I mean it. But I don't think I like the person I've become in this relationship. And I don't like the dynamic we have. It's not a partnership. It's this. It's you setting up tests that I'm not even aware I'm taking, and then punishing me for failing them. She starts sobbing now. But I was just trying to help you. I was trying to help you be a better man. All that stuff about toxic masculinity is real. I was trying to make you see. It hits me then. The final, sad truth. She might even believe that. In her mind, she really is the hero of this story. the enlightened teacher trying to reform the ignorant student. But her methods are based on control and emotional manipulation, and I'm done being her student. Maybe, I say, but good intentions don't make this okay. This isn't healthy for either of us. I take a deep breath. I know what I have to do. I can't do this anymore. Her crying stops instantly. Her head snaps up. What does that mean? It means I'm done. We're done. I say the words, and it's like a massive weight lifts off my chest. A weight I didn't even realize I was carrying. She just stares at me in disbelief. This was not in her playbook. Her scripts, her strategies. They all assume that I want to stay, that the ultimate threat is her leaving me, not the other way around. You can't do that, she whispers, like she's trying to forbid it. I can, I say. I have to. I turn around and walk toward our bedroom. Where are you going? She yells, her voice filled with panic. I'm going to pack a bag. I walk into the bedroom and pull a duffel bag out of the closet. I start opening drawers, shirts, socks, the basics. My movements are methodical. I'm not rushing. I'm not angry. I just feel certain. She follows me to the doorway, watching me. Her mind is racing, cycling through every possible tactic to stop this. She tries bargaining. Okay, you're right. The silent treatment was a bad idea. I see that now. It was too extreme. We can talk about it. I'll listen. I promise. I don't stop packing. It's too late for that, Rosalia. The problem isn't the silent treatment. That was just a symptom. The problem is the dynamic itself. This whole week, it wasn't a problem. It was the solution. She sees that bargaining isn't working, so she switches to guilt. After everything we've been through, 2 years, you're just going to throw it all away because of one stupid fight? What about that trip we planned? What about all the promises we made? I zip up the section of my bag with my clothes in it. Those promises were made under different circumstances. I thought we were building a life together, but we're not. I've just been living in yours. She sees that guilt isn't working. Her panic turns back to pure rage. It's her last resort. Fine, go. But you're making a huge mistake. You think you're so enlightened now after 1 week of playing video games? The world is not your little fantasy game, Dennis. It's hard out there. You're going to be lonely. I grab my toiletries from the bathroom and pack them. Maybe, I say, but I'd rather be lonely and at peace than be with someone and constantly at war. Her face twists into an ugly sneer. You're the toxic one, you know that? You're emotionally unavailable. You run away from any real intimacy. That's what this is. You're just too weak to do the work. I zip the bag closed. It's done. I turn to face her in the doorway. I look her right in the eye. No, I'm just strong enough to know when to stop. I walk toward the doorway. For a second, I think she's going to physically block me. But she seems to realize it's over. The game is up. She steps aside, her face a mask of contempt. I walk past her, down the hall and toward the front door. My every step feels light. I get to the door and put my hand on the knob. She has one last thing to say. Her voice is dripping with venom. You'll be back. Once you realize how good you had it, you'll come crawling back. But it'll be too late. I won't take you back. I pause with my hand on the door. I think about turning around. I think about saying something cutting, something final. But what's the point? The best victory is just walking away. I don't say a word. I open the door, step through it, and pull it shut behind me. The click of the latch is the most satisfying sound I've ever heard. I'm standing in the hallway of the apartment building. On the other side of that door is the silence she created. But now, she's the only one trapped in it. I walk down the hall to the elevator. I ride it down to the ground floor. I push open the main doors and step out into the night air. It's cool on my face. I take a deep breath. A full, deep breath that fills my entire lungs. I haven't breathed like that in 2 years. I don't know where I'm going to sleep tonight. I don't know what the next few weeks are going to look like. But for the first time in a very, very long time, I feel free. And there, on the empty street, under the faint glow of the streetlights, I just stand there for a minute, and I smile.